Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I am 1,000% certain that I am pregnant.
You say there are 6 babies.
I am getting 6 heartbeats.
And you're how far along?
I'm 3 years, 7 months. It is a very long pregnancy.
Medical miracle?
The ultrasound shows an empty uterus.
But I have more than one uterus.
Or all in her head?
There it is.
Bam, bam.
You examined Zona, correct?
I did.
Were there multiple uterus? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, this is Zona. She looks happy, glowing, even at about 6 months pregnant, right? Now, this is Shayna, and she looks to be about 7 months pregnant. But what if I told you that Zona claims that she has been pregnant for 3 years and 7 months? And Shayna says that she has been with child for over a year. Now, these women say that their fetuses are just growing at an abnormally slow rate, and they have an explanation for it. Take a look.
I've been pregnant approximately 3.5 years. Here she is, and she is definitely, we got a belly.
I've been pregnant a little over a year with what is called a cryptic pregnancy. As you can tell,
I had 2 cryptic pregnancies. One lasted 44 weeks, one lasted 52 weeks.
Now, there's a large group of these women call their pregnancies cryptic. Cryptic pregnancy is defined in the medical field as a pregnancy hidden to the mother until right before labor. But in non-medical chat rooms and forums, the word is being used to describe a pregnancy that can last anywhere from 14 months up to 7 years. Now, Zona is adamant that she is with child and frustrated that her own family will not believe her. Take a look.
I've been pregnant approximately 3 years, 7 months. At age 20, I had my tubes tied, so I would not have children anymore. I actually got pregnant at 40. I was extremely shocked. I'm still in shock. My belly has continued to grow for the 3.5 years, but it does grow at super low rates. My breasts are tender. My mood swings are super bad. I could be crying 1 minute, happy the next. When I go to a doctor, they take a pregnancy test. Of course, it does not show up on either blood or urine. They have also given me ultrasounds. They tell me all of negative. The doctors are wrong. I don't care what medical degree they have. I am 1,000% certain that I am pregnant. The movement in my stomach is what I'm saying is real. I know 1,000% I am giving birth to multiples. I think I'm carrying 6 babies. I could not believe how many heartbeats I'm getting in my belly. That is the most overwhelming thing that anyone can go through, especially if their tubes are tied. My family does not believe I'm pregnant. It has torn my family apart. This is the hardest thing I've ever experienced in my life. It's real and it's misery. I am sick and tired of being pregnant. I just want them out. I'm done with this. I'm done with pregnancy. I don't want it anymore. I'm done.
Okay, now, would you agree that this is unusual?
This is very unusual.
Okay.
Very unusual.
I have to say, I'm the most non-judgmental, open-minded person I've ever met. You know, maybe not, but I really approach every situation like, you know, hell, anything's possible.
Right.
Are you approaching this conversation with the possibility that you could be wrong?
1,000% I know I'm pregnant.
Well, there's really nothing for us to talk about then.
Okay.
Right? Because I mean, you don't even entertain an alternative explanation.
Well, there's anything, you know, I could have a tumor or something going on with me that I don't know about.
Right. That's
You know?
that's what I mean. That's
it is
a possibility.
very possible. I don't know exactly what's going on.
And I'm not asking you to abandon your belief.
No.
You completely, totally believe
Yes.
that you're pregnant.
I do.
And you have a lot of reasons to believe you're pregnant. You say that your breasts have been tender, your belly, you certainly look. I mean, I wouldn't walk up and say you look pregnant. On the street, I might get slapped if you weren't. But your belly moves, you
Yes,
say?
it does. Would you like to feel it? If
no.
It moves? No.
No. You say that you have a home fetal Doppler and that you hear not just a heartbeat, but 6 heartbeats?
That is correct.
So you went to the doctor,
Yes.
but you knew you'd had your tubes tied, so did you go in there and say, what's going on?
Yes.
I can't be pregnant here.
Yeah, exactly.
And were
no.
you relieved when they said you're not?
Yeah, I was actually. I was very relieved. But then as the time goes on, you know, like a year down the road, 6 months down the road, I still feel the tightening. And it was, as the time goes on, the tightening got more up around my ribs, so it was hard to breathe, you know,
But
to
you've had
take a breath.
ultrasounds, right?
Yes, but due to the ultrasound is a 15 megahertz and on the machines, and normally the Dopplers are like 3 to 5 megahertz. So if it's a too high of a megahertz, sometimes it will not pick up.
This is amazing technology, and they actually look inside the uterus.
Yeah, but
And it's surprisingly empty.
exactly, but this pregnancy happens in the back. It's a retroinverted uterus, so the pregnancy doesn't happen up front. It's more in the back.
You've been told that you have a baby hair ultrasound.
I went in on Saturday. She gave me a quick ultrasound, and the first thing she did is like, oh, the baby has a lot of hair. And I'm like, oh, great, we see a baby. That's awesome. You know, maybe it's at the time where we could start seeing now. And then she's like, oh, you need to come back. I come back Monday. There's nobody there except me and her. She does the ultrasound, and she says, oh, you have a medical problem. And she told me a medical problem. And then she's like, oh, here's the baby's hair. It's kind of, you know, different that we say we see hair here, but yet when I go in the second time, oh, we don't see anything.
You say there are 6 babies.
I am getting six heartbeats in different positions in my stomach.
And you're how far along?
Well, I'm 3 years, 7 months to my knowledge.
Okay. Could be longer.
Could be longer.
Okay.
Could be longer.
But you're saying there are 6
I know.
fetuses.
It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable to me, too. To look at me and think 6 babies, oh no. I mean, I think the same thing.
Well-
But when I put that fetal Doppler to my stomach, I was in shock. And when I showed one of my good friends, she was in shock.
Well, do you remember the story about Octomom?
Yes.
You know, I brought that story to America pretty much, and so I worked with Octomom, and so that was 8 babies,
Yes.
and she was a lot bigger.
Huge.
But how did you decide that the term cryptic pregnancy defines this? Because that's not the definition of cryptic pregnancy.
Cryptic pregnancy is a pregnancy that you do not show the HCG levels, either at or around 20 weeks it may show up, or through the whole entire pregnancy. Now, with the cryptic pregnancy, your HCG levels are so low that the babies don't even get bones until they're 2 to 3 years old in the womb.
That's not the definition of cryptic pregnancy.
Cryptic pregnancy is a pregnancy that is
well, here's the
that is-
medical definition
that
of
is
cryptic
hidden.
pregnancy. This is in the journals, this is in the textbooks, this has been there long before you ever decided that you were pregnant. Cryptic or denied pregnancy refers to the absence of awareness by a woman that she is pregnant until she delivers her baby, but the gestation is a normal gestation time.
No. Cryptic pregnancy lasts 2 to 7 years, and it's on the Gilmore Foundation is where I got my information from.
On the internet?
Yes. It's Cryptic Pregnancy, Gilmore Foundation. They also told me anything that is 110 or more, as long as you're at rest, is a baby.
But you understand that the entire medical complex for decades has defined this differently before you ever came along, and then somebody just hijacked the term and gave it a new definition?
No, because I have never read about a normal gestation time, because cryptic pregnancy is not a normal gestation time. Normally it's 2 to 7
yes, it
years.
is. You can call this something else, but it's
Okay.
not a cryptic pregnancy.
This pregnancy isn't normal. It is a very long, long pregnancy.
We can agree that the ultrasound shows an empty uterus.
Well, when you have more than one uterus, yes, it might show an empty uterus, but I have more than one uterus, so.
But the uterus that has been scanned is empty,
Okay,
correct?
I'm sure it is, because it's not in that uterus. It's in my back uterus.
Why has that one not been scanned?
Because I don't know, you'd have to ask the medical field on that.
All right, coming up, Zona's daughter, Sabrina, says that her mom talks about her pregnancy nonstop, but she doesn't believe her mom is having a baby. She just doesn't believe her. So we'll meet Sabrina next.
It is weird that she has a belly. She's definitely bigger than she's ever been my whole life. I do not believe that my mom is pregnant.
Even with my big belly?
Even with your big belly.
What, you think I'm just fat?
And later, you can make glib and smug comments about it
trying to
all
make-
day long, but you're talking about her life, and to serve your own needs and beliefs, you're making smug comments about her, and that is not appropriate.
I do believe my anatomy is totally different. I know when I'm in the bed with my man that I have many parts down there. I don't just have one vagina, I have more than one vagina, and I probably have more than one uterus too. I cannot prove that because I am not legal to read CAT scans. I have a right one, a left one, and a back left one. It's different down there.
Well, Zona, okay, hold on, guys. Zona claims that she has been pregnant for 3 years and 7 months. Now, her daughter Sabrina says there is no way that her mom is having a baby. Let's hear what Sabrina has to say.
My mother's been saying she's pregnant for almost 4 years. I honestly don't know what is happening with her. I really don't. It is weird that she has a belly. She's definitely bigger than she's ever been my whole life. I do not believe that my mom is pregnant.
Even with my big belly?
Even with your big belly.
What, you think I'm just fat?
Me and my mother argue about this a lot.
It's been a constant struggle and arguments and confrontations and not even be able to carry out a conversation because she just wants somebody to believe her.
I do not believe it's possible to be pregnant for more than a year. I told her elephants carry a baby for 2 years, not people. She gets mad and it's, oh, you're my daughter, why can't you believe me? Or it's my body, I believed you, which I did have babies, so you have to believe me. This whole cryptic pregnancy thing has gone on for years and it needs to stop.
Okay, joining us in the audience is Sabrina. Thank you so much for being here. Were you smoking in that tape?
Yes, I was. Unfortunately, with this, I am very frustrated.
But
It's a difficult thing. And yes, prove that I'm pregnant. Let's get when we get the results, and I won't smoke. But with this,
But you believe that you're pregnant.
You're right, and it's
Why
wrong.
would you smoke?
because I'm dumb, and I'm very stressed with this. I mean, this is almost 4 years. It's unreal, you know.
What's your position on this?
My position is I don't believe it.
You'll believe it when they're born.
Do you have children? And when was your first born?
2011,
And when did this start?
2014, when my third son was born.
She says that she hears 6 heartbeats. How many grandchildren do you have?
6.
We had you see a very prominent OBGYN, Dr. Thais Alabadi, and she is one of the country's leading OBGYNs. Hi, doctor. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for
I really
having me.
appreciate it. You examined Zona, correct?
I did.
Did you notice anything unusual about her anatomy?
No, her anatomy is completely normal.
Were there multiple uterus?
No. And I might miss a lot of things in my life, but I don't miss extra vaginas, or that won't happen.
Yeah, I would think.
My concern is, why are there that many heartbeats in me that the Doppler is picking up?
Okay, what about these fetal monitors?
So, first of all, you can, even if you carry one baby, I can put, at term, I can put that Doppler anywhere in the abdominal area and I would pick up a heartbeat. For us as physicians, when someone's pregnant with multiple, 4, I've done quadruplets, I would never use a Doppler. I would actually use an ultrasound to locate the actual heartbeats on ultrasound. But you need to have a baby to pick up a Doppler. She was not, we had her bring her Doppler to my office, and she was not able to reproduce,
I did 3 heartbeats in your office, and why didn't you use the regular ultrasound Doppler instead of using mine? It was right there.
Ultrasound Doppler works when there's a fetus inside.
Okay, why didn't you use it to see?
I couldn't find a baby.
If you're using technology against technology, why didn't, if this is really something to understand cryptic pregnancy, or whatever this pregnancy is called, why didn't you, as a doctor, use your equipment to do this?
When I see an empty uterus, I don't look for babies anymore. Babies grow inside the uterus. It doesn't matter if you have an anteverted, a uterus that points upwards, a retroverted, which points downwards. A lot of us have that. I see that on a daily basis. I don't care where your uterus is. I don't care how much food you have in your intestines. I don't care if it's pointing backwards, forwards, if you've had 10 C-sections and you have adhesions. I can see the uterus and I can see the fetus in it. As soon as you're 5 weeks pregnant and there's a small sac, on my ultrasound, I can pick it up. So when I do an ultrasound and the ultrasound's empty, I'm not going to look for a heartbeat outside of the uterus. You cannot carry a pregnancy outside of the uterus.
We're going to meet another member of the cryptic pregnant community who says that she's been pregnant for over a year, and it's been the most difficult experience of her life. We'll talk to her next.
When I realized I was pregnant, suddenly my belly just started growing like this. I've spent hundreds of dollars on pregnancy tests. Every one of them was negative. Being pregnant over a year is taking a toll on my health. I don't wish this on any female.
And later, you took pregnancy tests, and they were all negative, right?
Every single one of them but one.
You feel crazy, you feel nuts, because you know what's going on in your system.
I'm gonna smoke my cigarette. I do believe that when you're pregnant and you smoke, babies don't like it because they move more when I smoke. But I'm gonna take more drag of this cigarette, hold it in, less oxygen. See, they don't like it, I'm telling you. See, this is why you shouldn't smoke while you're pregnant. But I can't stop smoking because I'm so stressed.
Well, smoking while pregnant has many risk factors. Now, while Zona may not be concerned with following all of the medical guidelines for a mom-to-be, Shayna says that she's been chasing doctors trying to get adequate prenatal care during what she calls her cryptic pregnancy, which has been going on for over a year now. Let's take a look at her story.
I've been pregnant for over a year. I've been to a lot of doctors, hospitals. I've gotten urine tests, blood tests, and ultrasounds. When the results come back, they come back negative. I don't believe them. I've had 3 C-sections, and I think the tests are wrong because my insides are not like every other female. I am certain I'm pregnant. When I realized I was pregnant, suddenly my belly just started growing like this. I can feel the baby kick. My whole stomach looks deformed. I've spent hundreds of dollars on pregnancy tests. Every one of them was negative. I took a bleach and urine test that showed I was pregnant. You pour bleach in your urine, and if it foams up and over the cup, it means you're pregnant. And mine was the only one that foamed up, and I have pictures to prove it. When I use a Doppler, I try to use it twice a day when I don't feel movement, and that's the only thing I have to reassure me that the baby's okay, as long as I hear that heartbeat. My family did not believe I was pregnant. They thought I was crazy. At first, my stomach started growing. Everybody believes me now.
When she told us that she was pregnant, like, we didn't believe her. I didn't believe her at all. Until she started showing and I heard the heartbeats. So I fully support my mom now.
My mom, she's had 3 babies already, so I'm pretty sure she knows her body. So it is possible to have a cryptic pregnancy.
Being pregnant over a year is taking a toll on my health. I feel like tired, weak, miserable. I don't wish this on any female. I just want to have this baby and be done. I need someone to take me seriously.
Thank you so much for being here. We've been talking about Zona and what she refers to as a cryptic pregnancy. That's a misuse of the term, according to the medical community, but that's the term that she's using, and that's the term that you use to describe your condition, correct?
Correct.
Were you surprised to be pregnant?
Yes, I did not want more kids. I was done.
Yeah. And how did you decide you were pregnant? What convinced you that you were pregnant?
My body was changing. Everything was changing. I know my body, and I've been pregnant 3 times.
Uh-huh. And the 3 times before, how did you confirm you were pregnant?
Pregnancy tests. They were positive for those 3.
Uh-huh. And for this one, you, having been through it 3 times, you did the same thing, right?
Right. About so many pregnancy tests.
And you checked it.
Yes, I checked it.
And you took pregnancy tests. In fact, you took several of them, right?
Thousands.
And here we have a picture of these where you took these pregnancy tests in 2017, is just over a year ago, and they were all negative, right?
Every single one of them but one.
Relieved, true?
Yes, true.
Because you thought, wow, I'm not pregnant.
Oh, well, no, I knew I was pregnant. I knew I was pregnant. I wasn't relieved with that. I knew I was pregnant. There was something
I'm sorry,
wrong.
what you said?
I say you feel crazy, you feel nuts because you know what's going on in your system.
Did you believe that you were pregnant?
Yes, I knew I was pregnant.
Okay, but all the tests said you weren't.
At first, I didn't believe the test and didn't believe the test, and then I had movement, and then I bought a Doppler, and there was a heartbeat. There was 2 heartbeats.
So you went to the doctor?
I went to multiple doctors, chasing doctors.
And the doctor said, relax, good news, you're not pregnant.
Yeah, I told him I'm pregnant, and I've been told it's physically impossible.
And then when you got to 9 months, when everybody in the world delivers a baby, and you didn't, is there a part of you that said, well, they were right?
Yeah.
Because if they weren't, I'd have me a baby right now.
Yeah. I try to make myself believe I'm not, but then there's movement and there's heartbeat.
Okay, and are you open to the possibility, and I ask Zona this as well, are you open to the possibility that there's an alternative explanation for that? That maybe it's not a baby?
I'm open to it, but my insides aren't like every other female, like they treat you. I had a C-section at 13.
Right.
So my insides are, and 2 more after that, so my insides aren't normal. And my uterus isn't in its place.
Yeah, your insides may not be normal, but having a C-section doesn't change biology.
It changes scar tissue.
It may change the physical plant, but it doesn't change biology.
That's true.
Biology, the gestation of biology exists regardless of the host. You're the host. And whether you've had C-sections or not, the biology, the gestation period, is defined biologically, not host-wise.
1000%, I know I am pregnant and have more than 1 child in me.
You cannot confirm that and say, I'm gonna believe what I read on the internet and bought down to the drugstore. Closed captioning provided by Have you ever heard of something called confirmation bias?
No.
Confirmation bias is when people are only seeking out information that supports one's beliefs while ignoring any evidence that contradicts. That's called confirmation bias. Okay? Think about what that says. You believe something, so you're biased towards your belief. And so you only seek information that supports your belief, and you reject anything or ignore anything that contradicts it. Is it possible that you suffer from confirmation bias?
It could be possible, but I don't think so.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't think so if you had confirmation bias, because you, I mean, right? If you had confirmation bias, you wouldn't think so.
No, I know 1,000% I'm pregnant, and I know 1,000% it does not seem real.
You know 1,000% what you believe.
No, I know 1,000%.
Now talk to me. This isn't an election. They're not going to vote.
I know 1,000% that I'm pregnant only because the fetal Doppler.
This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You have a lot of evidence that contradicts that, and you reject it and hang on to one thing that you believe. That's a perfect example of confirmation bias.
Because of that one information is a very, very, very important information on pregnancy. When you go to the doctor and you are a woman and you've never heard that baby before, what do they do when you're about 12 weeks pregnant? They're going to let you listen to your baby's heartbeat. And for 1,000%, I know I am pregnant and have more than one child in me.
No, you don't know that, you believe that. You cannot confirm that, you cannot offer any evidence that, you just have a belief. That's right, but when you do see a doctor, in fact, one that has delivered 8,000 babies and they tell you otherwise, then you reject that and say, I'm going to believe what I read on the internet and bought down to drugstore.
No, I'm going to believe it because until some other doctor or a doctor can use their ultrasound machine.
But they can't listen to a heartbeat with an ultrasound that isn't there.
It is there. And see, it is not my fault or my responsibility that no doctor wants to listen with their machine.
Let me tell you the second half of confirmation bias. When you have someone that suffers from confirmation bias and you bring them evidence to the contrary, it actually deepens their bias.
It's okay.
It deepens their bias. It doesn't cause them to move. It causes them to hunker down and say, okay, I'm under attack here, so I'm going to really hang on to my beliefs even more tightly.
Yep.
Now, you say that with pride.
I do, because there is a lot of women, more than what people think, going through this.
It's very common.
And I honestly think that in order to understand this and to kind of look at it and check it out, we've got to be firm at how we feel. Because if you want to follow me around and want to, you know, follow the story, there's going to be babies.
I didn't come on here to get it backfired on me.
This pregnancy is real.
They're not looking, that's the problem.
But she did look. Closed captioning provided by...
We're at the doctor's office where I'm going to get my ultrasound and my exam.
Today I'm going to take a full history, do a complete physical exam, and do an ultrasound in order to find out if these women are pregnant.
What I'm hoping to learn today is that one day cryptic pregnancy won't be a mental case. It's real.
Hi, Shayna. How are you?
Fine.
I'm Dr. Alia Badi.
I'm Shayna. Nice to meet you.
All right, Shayna. Let's start your ultrasound. Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be done in a minute.
I'm just glad that you're taking the time to do this and to help. It's emotional, and it shouldn't be, you know? It's a blessing, not a bad thing.
This is my Doppler, and this is the only thing that I have to make sure the baby's okay, hear the heartbeat. It's the only thing that keeps me sane.
Is this where you usually find it?
Depending on how I'm laying.
Okay. No luck today, huh?
No.
There's babies in here, and I know for a fact. There it is. I barely hear it.
But I don't hear it. That's why I'm trying to check.
I know. There's babies in here. I got a Doppler. I know there's babies. Sounds
Do you have
good.
any questions for me?
I'm disappointed in the exam, and I don't think you're thorough enough, and that's just my opinion.
Okay. In addition to the exam, you also did lab work, correct?
I did.
Let's talk about Shayna.
So her blood pregnancy test was negative. Her hemoglobin A1C, which tells us about her blood sugar in the past 3 months, was very elevated. She's 0.1 away from being diabetic, which explains her weight gain. You know, 6% of patients suffer from a condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome, or PCOS, and that's exactly what Shayna has. These patients usually have insulin resistance, which make them gain weight. They have elevated insulin, which stimulates testosterone or androgen, which is a male hormone production, which can cause irregular periods. So when these patients don't get their period or their periods become irregular and they're gaining weight, the first thing they think is pregnancy.
What do you think about what she's saying?
I don't think she, I'm sorry, but I don't think she did the ultrasound, looked for a baby. I don't think she looked for a baby, just like all the other ultrasounds that I had.
You looked for a baby?
I did.
And this is the ultrasound from the other day. And
It was like 2 seconds long. Like,
well, she's delivered 8,000 babies. It doesn't take her very long to see an empty uterus is the issue. If you tell yourself, no, she doesn't know what she's doing, I'm not going to listen to her, then you're ignoring things that are ticking time bombs with you that you need to attend to.
I didn't come on here to get it backfired on me.
What is backfired?
This pregnancy is real.
They're not looking, that's the problem.
But she did look. But in
2
addition to
minutes?
that, she found some other things that she's telling you that you need to attend to so you can protect yourself and have a return to health. If you're pregnant and you're going to be a mother, don't you think you should take care of your child's mother?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's kind of hard to do that when you can't get a doctor.
That's a very smug and glib thing to say about somebody you don't even know, but the fact of the matter is she has a compassionate and caring physician that has identified some life-threatening things for her, and you can make glib and smug comments about it all day long, but you're talking about her life and a caring physician that is reaching out to her in a way that can protect her. And to serve your own needs and beliefs, you're making smug comments about her, and that is not appropriate.
Unfortunately.
Coming up, we're going to meet a woman who was certain that she too was having a cryptic pregnancy until one thing changed her mind. She's here to explain next.
At like 9 to 10 weeks, my belly started to pooch out.
Give you guys a belly shot here because there's no arguing with this belly.
I took several home pregnancy tests. The results were negative. I believed I was pregnant until I got an ultrasound.
I became involved in the Cryptic pregnancy community online. In that community, I saw videos of this girl named Crystal.
I am in fact pregnant.
She documented her journey through her cryptic pregnancy. Her videos resonated with me. She was going through the same thing I'm going through. I'm definitely a fan of Crystal's videos.
In 2016, Crystal was, to quote her, 2,000% convinced she was pregnant with her third child. But now she says the entire cryptic pregnancy community has turned on her. Here's why.
In 2016, I started to have symptoms that I thought could be related to pregnancy. I had frequent urination, sore breast, and sleep issues. At like 9 to 10 weeks, my belly started to pooch out. I did feel movement in my stomach. I took several home pregnancy tests. The results were negative. I thought the tests were wrong. I was 2,000% convinced I was pregnant. I took pictures of my belly as it was growing. I wanted to document my third child's growth.
I felt pregnant.
I went online and became an advocate for cryptic pregnancies.
Give you guys a belly shot here because there's no arguing with this belly.
I believed I was pregnant for 5 consecutive months until I got an ultrasound. The ultrasound was negative. Accepting that I was not actually pregnant was a process. I had to continually tell myself, I am not pregnant, my uterus is empty, in order for me to finally accept that there was no baby growing in there. Looking back at it, my mind convinced my body that I was pregnant. After I realized I wasn't pregnant, I literally felt my stomach deflate.
And as you can see, my belly is gone.
I went online and told the world.
This is not a pregnancy. I am not pregnant.
People in this community were furious with me. They basically said that I was a non-believer. I was very hurt by the reaction. For anyone who claims that they've been pregnant for more than a year, my heart goes out to you. They need to come to terms with the fact that they're not pregnant.
Well, Crystal, thanks for being here. You've been listening to what we've been talking about here. What do you say about what you're hearing here?
I feel for you women. I really do. My heart goes out to you because I've been there. I know the confusion and the uncertainty that comes along with reading about something like this.
My stomach's moving right now.
Did you ever use a Doppler?
I did.
Yeah.
And once you changed your lifestyle, your diet, and your thought patterns, what happened to your stomach? Because you had a belly there that looked very prominent.
The only way I can describe it is that it deflated. It felt like it deflated.
I'll ask you two, just answer this question for me. And this is purely hypothetical. I'm not asking you to agree with me. I've gone with you in your thinking, go with me in this hypothetical. What if you're not pregnant? This is purely hypothetical.
I would be very happy. I'm also concerned with my medical. You know, is there something else going on? Because I have heard that I have stage 4 bladder cancer.
Someone told you you had stage 4 bladder cancer and you did nothing about it.
Well, if you've been back and forth to all the hospitals and doctors, would you want to go when you don't have insurance? And what are they going to do?
How long ago was this?
It was May 16, 2018.
I certainly hope that's not true.
If it is, it is.
Because I want you to be healthy and return to health. Let me ask you the same what-if question. What if it turned out that you're, in fact, not pregnant? Just hypothetically. And again, I'm not asking you to.
I'd be glad. I don't want more kids.
That would be a load off of you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just think I was crazy.
No, but I'm glad you said that, because that's absolutely not true.
I know it's hard going through this.
You know, coming up, can Zona and Shayna have a plan to go forward in some way that is constructive, whatever the circumstance may be? We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by. Is there anything, any examination, any ultrasound, any test, anything that a qualified physician could do that hasn't been done that would clarify for you without question whether you're pregnant or not?
The ultrasound with a Doppler.
And if the ultrasound and the Doppler was negative, no heartbeat there, where would you come down?
I know there's going to be a heartbeat, so I don't know.
I will ask Dr. Aliabadi to do that with you, but you have to agree, and I'm saying write it down and agree. If this is done and it comes back negative, then I will accept and pursue an alternative explanation.
Then I will accept and pursue an alternative explanation.
I ask you the same question.
I honestly think that due to a Doppler on a gene, being that it is a 15 megahertz instead of a 3 to 5 megahertz, that it may not pick up because it's too powerful. Now, I know that doesn't make any sense, but I know in the medical, and I know a little bit about medical, so no, I'm just going to see how it plays out.
I think you want to believe this.
I don't want
think
to.
You're getting a lot of currency out of it.
No.
Your daughter thinks you're doing it for attention, and right? I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Dr. Aliabadi. For more information about today's show, please log on to drphil.com. We're going to have information on there that defines some of these terms. Tell us what you think on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you next time.